Like you don't know, I'm Emily Bergman, and I'm the AJL liaison to ALA. Thank you for joining us today. Before we introduce our guest, Maria McCauley, let me tell you a bit about AJL. In 1946, the Jewish Librarians Association was founded and composed of academic, archival, and research institutions. The Jewish Library Association, founded in 1962, emphasized work in synagogue, school, and community center libraries. These two associations merged in 1966 as the Association of Jewish Libraries. In 2010, AJL became an affiliate of the American Library Association and is currently one of its 7 ethnic affiliates. Today, AJL is the leading authority on Judaic librarianship and a vibrant volunteer-run, nonprofit, professional organization that fosters access to information and research in all forms of media relating to all things Jewish. The association promotes Jewish literacy and scholarship and provides a community for peer support and professional development. For more information on becoming a member, please visit our website at jewishlibraries.org. I am also involved in the Jewish Information Committee of the Ethnic and Multicultural Information Exchange Roundtable. If you are a member of ALA, I hope you'll join EMIRT and work with me to provide more connections between AJL and ALA. Maria actually contacted Sean back in December, wanting to meet with AJL, and was the first to respond to my invitation to an AJL forum. So I know she's interested in meeting with us, as we are with her. I did have a chance to chat a couple of times with Maria at LibLearnX in Phoenix. Now I'm very pleased to introduce you to Maria McCauley, Director of Libraries, Cambridge Public Library, Cambridge, Massachusetts. Maria, who was a Spectrum Scholar, is a current member of ALA Division's CORE, Public Library Association, and Association of College and Research Libraries. She's also a member of the Rainbow Roundtable, Sustainability Roundtable, Intellectual Freedom Roundtable, and the International Relations Roundtable. She's a member of the Asian Pacific American Librarians Association, Chinese American Librarians Association, Black Caucus of ALA, Reforma, the National Association to Promote Library and Information Services to Latinos and the Spanish-speaking, and the American Indian Library Association, and we hope she'll join AJL. She's also a member of the Freedom to Read Foundation, the Massachusetts Library Association, and the New England Library Association. She has held several ALA leadership positions, including at-large counselor on the ALA Council, executive board member, and fiscal and audit committee. She was also the 22-23 PLA president and a PLA board member. Maria holds a doctorate of philosophy, managerial leadership in information professions from Simmons, an MLIS from University of Pittsburgh, a BA in theater from Ohio Wesleyan University, a leadership certificate program from Northwestern University, and the Library Leadership for New Managers program from the Association of Research Libraries. Here we go. How did you decide to become a librarian?
Oh, thank you. That was such a lovely introduction. Thank you so much, Emily. And I've really enjoyed the chats that we've had. It was great to see you at LibLearnX. And I really appreciate this invitation today. And I would love to become a member. Thanks for that invitation as well. So yes, how did I become a librarian? Okay, so this is kind of a long.
Why did you decide?
Oh, yes. Why? So this is kind of a little bit long, but I think it's important. So first, I wanted to start off with why libraries and how personally they touched me. So I was born in South Korea and I was adopted and raised in Connecticut. And I was living my, I guess, suburban life in Connecticut. I never thought about my birth family until when I moved to Cambridge. I participated in a book discussion about, it was a book discussion where we read 2 works. One was a work by a collection of letters from birth mothers to their children it was an anthology called I Wish for You a Beautiful Life. And then the other was a book of poetry by Korean adoptees. And that was the first time where, I felt like, oh my goodness, I had a much more compassion for my birth mother, and I felt her humanity, and I longed to know her. And that really started my journey of exploring Korea more and wanting to go back. It happened to be an IFLA conference, which was my first time back to Korea. And then I was able to do some Birch family search as well. So I really feel like libraries, I've always used libraries, but they also really opened up a great personal meaning for me as well. And then why am I running for the ALA president? Um, I'm a spectrum scholar, as you mentioned, Emily, and the significance of that is great. It was a home base for me. Uh, I worked in academic libraries for the first 10 years of my career in the Boston area. And even before that, I just didn't know um, very many diverse library workers at that time. And so the Spectrum Scholars Program was such that from the start, I had a set of friends, peers that I could see, and whenever I went to conference or pick up the phone and call them. And that was incredibly meaningful to me to be able to have a network of colleagues that looked like me, frankly, and that we had some shared experience. And so that was in my real formative time learning how to be a librarian. You would say that that was incredibly important. And then also, Dr. E.J. Josie was at Pitt. He was faculty emeritus when I was there, and he welcomed me to Pitt in the library world. That was also significant to me. So from the very beginning of my entrance into libraries, ALA offered me something a little bit different than what I was getting in like the New England or, or the New England, I guess, kind of academic library backdrop. And so I had mentors from the very beginning in ALA, and then I was able to grow and thrive. I was able to develop over time. I was on lots of different kinds of committees and advisory groups, and ALA gave me the opportunity to grow. So after 25 years of serving in many different capacities, including PLA past president, serving as a two-term counselor, and an ALA executive board member, I am ready to step into this role. And that's why I'm running for ALA president.
What is your vision for ALA?
I envision a connected ALA where every member feels valued, supported, alive. I envision an ALA in which members are growing and thriving. I envision an ALA that has strong advocacy, relationships, and legislative presence. I envision an ALA where people feel included.
Where do you see an association like AJL and its members within the broader landscape of ALA?
Yeah, so I've always been a supporter of different groups that support like a subset of the association or affiliate groups. As you know, I'm a member of all of the NALCOs, as you mentioned, Emily, and I also have always been somebody who's appreciated the richness of our diverse cultural landscape. And I think it's wonderful to have AJL's presence as an affiliate. And I also think it's super that you have the literary awards that you offer as well.
What do you bring to ALA that is unique and will help move it forward?
My executive experience leading libraries for 13 years, serving as an ALA executive board member and past president of PLA. I feel like those two combined, I'm definitely the most experienced, and ALA is soon to turn 150. and I've been an integral part of the last 25 of that 150. I've demonstrated my steadfast commitment to ALA. Additionally, I have the ability to bring people together in inclusive ways. I have strong facilitation skills, as evidence presiding over the PLA board. And I have the experience as being an official spokesperson for both PLA and ALA. I've spoken about book bans, the value of libraries, and pro-library legislation, including visiting Capitol Hill many years now. I've consistently led in enacting policies, practices, and programs based in equity work and inclusive organizational practices. And I think, it's one thing to say that these things are important, but I actually have a whole track record of leaning into equity and making sure organizational practices are inclusive. I'm a strong listener, and I'm intentional and strategic in developing meaningful partnerships, processes, and actions toward fulfilling purpose and mission. I don't take the quick and easy placating path.
AGL wants to work more closely with the other ethnic affiliates, but there aren't clear paths to doing that. Any suggestions?
Yes. Similar to visiting all of you, I would approach attending an event or a meeting at any of the other ethnic affiliates in a respectful way, like coming in as a visitor. And then I would work on getting to know people over time. That's how I've approached the other ethnic caucuses, is with that kind of frame of mind, and also trying to be very respectful. And I sometimes there's energy and sometimes there's not, and I think that's okay. But even if it doesn't seem like there's like an automatic, like, oh yeah, let's collaborate on A, B, and C, people will still appreciate, I think, the time that somebody comes and shows presence. For example, I went to the ALA Book Awards in Phoenix, and I couldn't stay for very long, but I'm sure, that was appreciated. I certainly appreciated it. It was an incredible event. So that would be my advice.
I just want to let everybody know, this is a question that has come up at every forum that we've done for the last few years, and I decided that I needed to include a question so that Maria could think about it and not be hit, by it. And I thank you, Sean, for actually writing the question for me. AGM members have experienced through the years, and especially since the start of the Hamas-Israel war, direct anti-Semitic remarks, ALA events scheduled on major Jewish holidays, repeated petitions to boycott Israel, Israeli libraries and cultural organizations, many are AJL members, and recently the active promotion of a Palestinian author who has publicly called for the killing of all Jews. Many Jews do not feel ALA is safe and welcoming space for them. What are some things you will do as an ALA member to help change that?
Yeah, thanks for that. First of all, I want to say that I'm sorry, very sorry to hear that many Jewish people don't feel ALA is safe and welcoming. That's not how we want it to be, right? We want everybody to feel safe within ALA. One thing that I can commit to is to fostering dialogue between groups on difficult topics. And I would say this is probably the most challenging topic that's happening globally. Regarding the holidays, I will charge ALA staff and executive board with reviewing the policies on when events are scheduled. And I will encourage all staff to be mindful of all holidays when scheduling events. My understanding is that there was a post on Connect that has been flagged for a code of conduct violation and is being reviewed through that process. Trying to think of what else. Just looking at Sally's note here. Hi, Sally. So nice to see you here. So it might call for review then. Just so Sally said, just to follow up, I sometimes go through the process of reporting, but it's never found through the process to violate the code of conduct. It seems that the opinions of the majority of Jews on what anti-Semitism is are not often believed despite our lived experiences. So that would be, maybe that the code of conduct itself and the process should be reviewed. I guess just one other a thought I had is that, I am aware of the impact of Fanny Goldstein, who was a native of Boston and a graduate of Simmons. And my hope is that in the near future, a Jewish librarian will be elected as another president of ALA following Sari Feldman's excellent work. And I think representation is really important. If I get elected, I will be the third president of ALA in 150 years who is Asian American. And I would also love to see a Jewish librarian as president in the near future as well. I think that would be really amazing.
Let me let folks know who are here. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat and Sean and I will monitor the questions. I should have said that at the beginning, sorry. So Maria, what are you reading?
Yes, I am reading the Black Librarians in America? Black Librarians in America. I think that's the name of it. It's an anthology. And the most recent one just came out, but I haven't read that one. I'm reading the second version, and it has a whole section on E.J. Josie, which is, and the founding of BCALA, which is really quite interesting. What about you, Emily?
Oh, it is a, sorry, I have to look it up. So it is a Sydney Taylor, I don't know, something, Night Owls.
Okay, how is it?
Interesting.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure it's my genre, but I try to read all the Sydney Taylor young adult books. So I don't see any questions. So, oh, thank you, Michelle. That's
Thanks,
cool that you're
Michelle.
one of the editors.
That's
Okay, so
awesome.
cool. So I want to go back to the ethnic affiliates. And I
Yeah,
just want to let you know that we have done what you said. We are not, most of those are part of the Librarians of Color, NALCO. I think that's what it's now called. Yeah. And because we are not considered librarians of color, although we have plenty of librarians of color who are Jewish, we have very clearly been told you're not welcome. And we did get a presentation at the last conference, but it was, we have to work really hard. Oh, we are literally told go program with Catholics. Oh, yeah, that's probably true. But we are more than a religion.
sure, your culture, right?
And we
So,
participate in the Martin Luther King, which I'm not sure how that's going to exist now that there's no midwinter. Um, and when the BCALA and the others have receptions or whatever, we go. Because like you said, you have to step up and step in, but we are not welcome. So I just wanted to sort of lay that out. Yeah. And see what your thoughts are.
yeah. Thank you so much, Emily and Michelle. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing about that. It was this is the handbook of Black librarianship, and excellent that you are one of the editors. Um, yeah, I mean, so I'm curious about that, right? So that's something that because I am involved, I do know a lot of people who are, helping to lead the JCLC and the NALCO. So I would be curious to just find out more. I think anytime I hear things, and as an individual in the field, sometimes I hear things, but as ALA president, I will hear even more if I'm in that role. And so I would like to approach things with curiosity, right? To try to find out more about something that I've heard. So I think that I would be curious about that, right? Like, and also being mindful of everybody's oppression, right? Jewish librarians' oppression, Black librarians' oppression, and so on. So, I just think that there's might be sensitivity, and I don't know. Um, I don't know. I have no idea how that statement was made and why. I think it's interesting. And Sally, I'm looking at your comments, which it just doesn't sound very thoughtful. I'm sorry that happened. And I think it's great that you're
We've been
participating.
involved in the MLK for the last 3 years, I think, 3 or 4 years. So I'm good. I'm good with that. We're making progress and I want to make progress. I don't want to go back. And we are affiliate, and there is now an affiliate committee, and I am the AGL representative, of course, to the affiliate committee. But we feel ourselves part of those ethnic affiliates and have been told you're not welcome.
Mhm.
So I'm just sharing.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that. Yeah. I think I would approach things like with curiosity because I really seek to understand where people are coming from. And I think it's great that you're participating in the Sunrise Celebration. It's one of my favorite programs. I think it's a really important program.
Yeah, the one this year was fabulous.
It really
One of the
was.
best
Oh
that I've
my
been.
goodness.
Yeah.
Wonderful keynotes,
Oh my gosh.
right? I want to bring that person to my library. Yeah, I have to look her up. But yeah, she
Yeah.
was incredible.
Yes, she was. Um, and then I just want to share, these are my own personal experiences at ALA. I try not to be an out there kind of person, but in the 4 years I've been on council, I have had to deal with two anti-Israel resolutions, and then there was a third at the membership meeting last summer. I think that was all. There may have been a fourth, and I just, you know, don't remember. And I've not been on council the whole time, and I know that I've missed some of those. Um, and I guess what disturbs me is the comment that I hear that, well, first of all, we just don't need to be so divisive, but also to be told, well, it's not anti-Semitic. It's it's about Gaza and Israel and not Judaism, and yet it comes off that way. And actually heard a downright anti-Semitic remark at the exhibits after the YMA awards that truly equated the issue around Israel to Jews and that we shouldn't be outwardly Jewish. So this is not something that you would see or that you would hear. But it has definitely turned off members of AJL. And if part of my goal as the liaison and for the others on this call who are ALA members and would like more AJL members to be part of ALA as the larger representative of American libraries, that kind of unwelcome and downright prejudice is not welcoming. I'm just saying.
So Emily, first of all, I'm so sorry. And with this incident that happened outside of the Youth Media Awards, did you report it?
No,
I'm so sorry that
should.
happened. I mean, it sounds like it's offensible. It certainly should get reviewed.
Oh, that is interesting.
You said second.
Okay.
Just even if it just raises the awareness, that this is actually, I mean, it sounds to me like it would need to get reviewed. So I don't want to speak on behalf of the association, but it would need to get reviewed. But to me, it sounds like it should be certainly like a point of education, right? I'm very sorry that happened. Yeah, and yeah,
I didn't know about reporting, so that's good to know.
because the code of conduct is at conferences too. It's not just for council.
Right?
So somebody said that.
Mhm.
That's terrible.
Not me. I just was there.
No, yeah.
But we were all part of the Sydney Taylor group.
Okay. I'm just thinking here. Okay, so resolutions. Right, so you've been on council 4 years. So I think I'm aware of a recent resolution that went in front of the council. So I'm on the committee on legislation. I think SRRT sponsored it, and that was it wasn't passed by council.
They're all cert.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thanks. Yeah, so that wasn't passed.
Right.
Right. So COL,
My
I know.
experience, all but one have failed.
Okay. So I know that COL voted it down. And my understanding is, or I know that it didn't pass council.
I just want to jump in for both. AJL makes a very explicit point when we went through our conference, because all these issues, Sean. So is that the president? We stay completely apolitical. So because even inside Association of Jewish Libraries, we have every single opinion and every idea about this, and so a lot of the angst is why ALA feels the need to make these things political when it's outside America. For the American Library, it's outside libraries, when we all are risking of how to get more readers, how we get more users, how we get more funding, how do we not get shut down, how we not have book bans. A lot of efforts and items are being utilized on things that aren't helping us getting more members, getting more community involvement, getting more activities, getting more funding, that type of stuff. And so that's just one of the, so AJL has made a very conscious decision by our past president from the start of it of absolutely no discussions of it type deal. Things of course bleed through. There's the books of course coming through, but we're not doing any resolutions, well, like anything. Our mission is to provide resources for the Jewish experience, open to anyone. And so we're not worried about what propaganda is being put out, what other things are being put out. But it is a little confusing type aspect of something like, we at least have members in Israel. We at least have members in Israel, and so it's very personal for Association of Jewish Libraries, but we want to make sure, like we said, the accurate resources, the best resources we can find to get out there. So that's just some of the angst of why it's continuously being allowed, be coming up, and that's but we just want to
Yeah,
get
I
that across.
appreciate
And
that.
so it's just the aspects of who, at least where we're coming from, our views on it. And we have members who have every single aspect view on the aspect too, but we had a very successful conference in San Diego right before ALA in San Diego. And we had very few instances bring anything brought up. So that's just our points of views, how we're looking at it, and having to felt like it's continuously of just waiting until we get worn down to then start doing things that are outside the scope of ALA.
I really appreciate that, Sean, and it's interesting to hear that about kind of the founding, about it being apolitical. I mean, I think, what's hard about this is I do think ALA historically, there have been some things that over time, like, for example, the founding of BCALA, and that was a political kind of thing, like that Black librarians were being left out. But, personally, I don't think that we should be taking a position on international conflicts. I think unless something relates directly to what we're trying to accomplish, as the American Library Association. So, I think that there was a question about, I don't remember, Emily, if you brought it up in one of the last communications, but oh yeah, maybe boycotting. So I think that all libraries should be open, free and open for people to use across the world, no matter what is happening in the world. So yeah, it is, I see the stress on people, and it was interesting to hear, Sean, that in your membership, people have different views. Well, in Cambridge, I see the stress and the, around international conflicts, in the ecosphere, in different kinds of protests that have happened on campuses. And it is really challenging. So I don't have any wise words of like how we will wrap that all up and be like the model, but I just want you to know that I am, I think, an empathetic person, and I would try to help people, stay above board.
Are there any other questions from our audience? I don't see any. I would like to, obviously, I'd like to thank Maria for joining us. This was wonderful. And
Sam.
thank you to Jackie for taking care of the hosting. And thank you, Sean, for all of your help. And have a great rest of your Sunday.
Thank you. It's good to see all of you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.